Hello, thanks for joining our liv.rent Basics webinar today. I'm Jackie and I'm an accounts executive here at liv.rent. Today we're going to be learning all about leases. I'm going to cover how to create, extend, and end leases on the liv.rent platform. Leases can be tricky, but with our methods, I promise this is all very straightforward. Before we get started today, I just wanted to share a little bit about liv.rent. We ourselves are landlords and renters, and we decided to create a better way to rent because we were tired of all the frustration, back and forth, and missed opportunities that happen in the regular renting world. Today, our rental platform digitalizes the entire process, and we're more than a listing site because we're helping our community of verified landlords and tenants connect to each other so they can rent easier, save time, save energy, and even make renting fun again because why not? As we're going through the webinar today, be sure to send us any questions as they come up in the live chat, and we'll be sure to answer them in the chat as we go. Now let's start. Creating contracts on liv.rent is super easy and can take less than a minute to complete and send. We'll start off by going to our listing dashboard. If you already know who you're going to sign a contract with, you can directly click Contracts. If you're not so sure, you can directly go to Applications and select from our list of applicants. You can review the application here before committing to a contract. You can also create a contract directly by going to the chat of the tenant you've chosen and clicking on their application to create a contract directly from there. We're going to go ahead now and click the blue Create Contract button in the bottom right corner here. Once we've done that, we will arrive at the Tenancy Agreements page. We use the standardized BC and Ontario Tenancy Agreements as the basis of our liv.rent contract, depending on where your listing is located. We even automatically fill in most sections with details you have already included in your listing. This makes the process extremely quick and error-free. We divide the contract into 3 simple steps: parties, rental terms, and addendums. And for parties here, we've already selected our tenants, so that information is already pre-filled. You can also use our contracts with a tenant you found from outside of liv.rent. Simply click Add a Tenant, Add New Tenant, and fill in the necessary information. Your tenant will be notified of the contract through email and can easily log into their new liv.rent account to sign the contract. You can also add a non-signing tenant if necessary for your own records as well. Both BC and Ontario require that you provide a copy of the contract to the tenant within 21 days of signing. The liv.rent lease expedites this process by keeping everything digitalized and easily accessible at any time once you have completed signing the contract. Just as you can add multiple tenants, you can add multiple landlords to the contract if you have a family or business account. There will be an option to select if you are an agent to sign on behalf of the landlord, and on the contract under parties, the company information will be shown as well as the agent's name. If the landlord needs to sign the contract directly, you have to create an account on liv.rent and can be added to sign the contract. Moving on to the next page, we have our rental terms. Everything that is required will be marked with an asterisk so you can easily see which fields you need to fill in. So first things first, we're going to fill in our contact information. Filling the contact information, we can move on to the rest of the contract. You should be able to see we have a few reminders here and there throughout the entire lease of legal touch points you might need to pay attention to when creating a contract. For example, here in both BC and Ontario, tenants are no longer required to move out at the end of the lease term and instead will move automatically from month to month. This particular listing I'm using has an address based in BC, so we're working with a BC standard lease agreement here. If your listing is Ontario, you will be able to see some differences that reflect on all the necessary terms of the Ontario Residential Tenancy Agreement. You can see the touch points here, such as this one in blue, and there will be a little note that pops up. So here I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the lease terms and dates. Strata info as necessary. This is already filled in for me. And rental info. Here we have, it's automatically entered with the information from the listing here, so I didn't have to do anything there. By setting a rent due date, the liv.rent platform will automatically send you a reminder to both you and your tenant 3 days before rent is due. That's pretty helpful. For landlords in Ontario, you will also have the option to add if tenant insurance is required, and for BC landlords, you will be able to add this in addendums, which I will go over later during our third step. And to complete the rest of this information here, security deposit, Again, we have all the features that were already included in your listing when you created it. If there's anything else you'd like to add or you'd like to take out, you can go ahead and edit it here. Same thing with the utilities. Moving on, pet policy, parking information, storage information, and so on and so forth. If you have any extra fees or payments, you can go ahead and click extra fee and payments, save the amount if necessary, and you can go on ahead from there. We're going to go ahead and skip next. Here we are at our final step, addendums. You can go ahead and click the Add Addendums button here, and you will find we have 3 different types of addendums. You can create your own custom addendums, which will not be saved or used by anyone else. Just make sure to pay attention to the laws of the residential tenancy boards in your particular province to ensure you are adhering by the necessary guidelines. Also note that these addendums are formatted to your contract in HTML. You can easily find a free formatting guide online, but if you have any trouble with this, feel free to reach out to the Live support team for help. We're going to go back. Addendums by your company are created by your company administrators who can also make changes. And finally, we have addendums by liv.rent. Here we've drawn up some of the most commonly used addendums. These are industry vetted to save you from unnecessary arbitration and any trouble you might run into in the future. You can go ahead and click into any of these to see all the necessary information to decide if this is right for you. So for smoking, you will see that you'll be able to edit, for example, if you have any designated spots that you do allow smoking, you can go ahead and click those, and you'll see the changes reflected here underneath. I'm just going to go ahead and click Select All and add them all to the contract. If you want to make any changes to any of these addendums, you can go ahead and click the pen marker to the right of these addendums, and then make any necessary changes as needed through the body of the addendum. If you need to remove it, you can go ahead and click Remove right here in the top right corner. And there you are. Now that you've added everything in, you can always go back and make any adjustments by clicking the back button here or any of the steps we have done before. Once you're ready, go ahead and click the Preview button here at the bottom. And as you can see, of course, you can take a look once again through all of your information to make sure that everything is accurate and nothing is missing before moving on to set the terms and conditions of liv.rent. Here you can take a quick preview of the BC Tenancy Agreements, and you can take a quick look of what the contract actually looks like. If we keep scrolling down, we can go ahead and find all of the addendums here at the bottom of the contract. Once everything looks good and you are happy, we can go ahead and click Continue. Here are all the liv.rent terms and conditions for using our contract. Once you're ready, go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom, agree with liv.rent's terms and conditions, and there you have it. A contract has been successfully sent. Once you've sent your contract, you're ready to sign. You can go ahead and go back to the chat with your tenant and click on the contract and sign, or even easier, you can directly go from your listing dashboard here and go directly to click on contract. Here you can see the contract that you've already made and sent to your tenant. We're just going to click continue here, scroll down to accept the liv.rent terms and conditions, and you can go ahead and click tap to sign. You can either draw your signature or you can go ahead and type there. If it's easier, you can also do this on your phone. Just going to go ahead and sign the signature here. And there you have it. The contract has been signed on your end and you are good to go. At any point, you can go ahead and click See Status as well to check if your tenant has signed the contract yet. If you're looking through the contract and you didn't manage to catch the mistake while you were editing the contract, but you do see something you want to change after the contract has been sent, you can go ahead and click Cancel Contract, and then go ahead and go back to create an entirely new contract and send that one out to your tenant as well. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what a signed tenant looks like by going back to Tenants. And here you have your past tenants, upcoming tenants for any contracts that have not yet started, and here is a current contract that I currently have. You can go ahead and access your contract here, and here you can save your contract as a PDF. As soon as you and your tenant has signed the tenancy agreement, a PDF copy will automatically be emailed to the tenants, so you don't have to worry about providing them with a copy. If you'd like to create one for your records as well, you can go ahead and scroll down here, save it, download it, print it, whatever you'd like. You can also renew a contract directly by clicking Renew Contract. And here you will have your draft form of the contract that you created before, and of course all the information that you created previously will already be in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and back out of this contract renewal. Contract history. If you have multiple contract versions, for example, after you've renewed a tenancy agreement, you can go ahead and click on any of these to see which version of the contract you have signed previously. And of course, we have the End Tenancy Agreement. You can either end the tenancy within the contract, or you can just go directly to your tenants and then click End Tenancy here. In both Ontario and BC now, if a fixed-term contract does not state the tenant must vacate, it automatically moves to month until the contract is terminated. There are very specific reasons or circumstances in order for you, as the landlord, to legally require a vacate date. You can go ahead and click Desired End Date, state any reasons you need, and send your request. And there, an end tenancy request has been sent. On the tenant side, they will see this in their chat and be able to accept or dispute the tenancy end. And here you can also go ahead and force end tenancy if the tenant is no longer reachable online, but you've mutually agreed to end the tenancy agreement here. There you have it. Now you can confidently go create, extend, and end your lease tenancy agreement on liv.rent. Thanks again for joining us. Now you can go forward and use leases with confidence. A small reminder that you can always contact us at support@liv.rent or chat with us on our live chat in the app between 9:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. PST. Plus, if you like this one, you'll like our other Liv Talk Basic short tutorials on how to maximize liv.rent to its full potential to make your entire rental process seamless from start to finish. Bye for now.